Okay, welcome back. And on behalf of the Greater Pocatello Association of Realtors, we'd like to thank you for viewing our little show today. And with me, I have a home inspector, Steve DeGiulio, with Advantage Home and Property Inspections, and he's been kind enough to come in and share his expertise with us. So we're going to get right into some more questions and see if we can stump Steve. How about that? Let's stump Steve today. But okay, in your inspections, do you look for mold, radon, insects, things like that? Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for.
Well, we look for anything and everything, at least I do, of conditions that shouldn't be there.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the stuff, like mold and conditions like that, you know, if it's a concern and it's that bad, then I'll take a tape test and we'll send it off and get it taken care of. You know, there's a little extra fees involved. A lot of the stuff, radon, you know, we send that out to people that, in my opinion, I believe some of that stuff, instead of paying me to go and do something and then take a look and say, okay, you have that, then I think that you should have somebody, instead of paying twice, have somebody go out that can take care of the problem, so you're not paying two charges to go out there.
That makes
so
sense.
Have a radon guy come out, take a look at it, and then they can usually take care of the situation on stuff like that. You know, I look for wood-destroying insects. If I find them, then I recommend you, as with anything else, if we find something and it's a serious problem, then, you know, get in there, get a professional, a licensed professional that's qualified to take care of whatever situation you have. Don't just get some guy that says, oh, I know how to do that and this and that. Usually that gets you in a little worse problem than what you started with. So get someone, and a lot of times, you know, you might want to check some references or something on some of these guys. So, but if a company's been in business for quite a while, you know, you're probably in pretty good shape. So
yeah, that's good to know. Is there any one thing that you keep seeing over and over again for our area that seems to be a problem?
You know, in different ages of houses and different structures, there's usually something that you can look and find, you know, and the style of house and design. You know, a lot of times there's venting issues is going on, you know, insulation that's probably a little lower from when it was built than what our standards are these days. Stuff like that you find going on. So
okay. Now I'm wondering, a lot of times in the older homes, some of the buyers will have concerns about the old knob and tube wiring, and when you think about it, when the house was built, that was legal, that was code then. Well, now everything has changed so much. Is that an okay thing to leave in a house, or should that all be removed? Or
usually, you know, knob and tube, it is a concern. Usually it starts to fail when people have been tampering with it and messing with it, covering it with the insulation, things like that. You know, of course, there's always something better on the market, but as long as, in my opinion, of course, as long as it hasn't been messed with and stuff, I don't. My house has it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So, but you know, it's always, if someone's been cutting into it, splicing into it, no junction boxes, stuff like that, covering it with insulation, it'll heat up real, and so it's fire concerns always. So,
I had a gentleman tell me that it's always a good idea to have a home inspection on a new home as well as an older home. Why would you recommend that?
Oh, as we just spoke about a little bit earlier, there's you know, things get left out.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
A lot of time I find compaction problems, something that might be going on right at the time when you move in. Another, you know, and I really hate to say it, but if you get it taken care of before you get in there, you have less hassles. When you finally find something wrong, you have less hassles of getting them back to get it taken care of than, you know, then down the road after you're signed and you're in. So get it taken care of before you're in, and you're good to go.
Well, that brings me to the question, wouldn't it be a good idea to have a home inspection before you put your home on the market so you could correct those things? You could have that home inspection on the counter for the buyer to see. What is your thought on that?
I think a pre-listing inspection is a very excellent idea. You can get in there, that you know, is something that it's going to take care of surprises that's going to come onto you. It's, you know, you can have that, like you said, on the counter, like my inspection report on the counter, certified home inspector. Then you have a list over here. This is what he found. This is what we repaired. You can have your own inspection come on and take care of it. But you know, this is what we found, and this is all we're going to do. You know, I did one recently for a house for a realtor, and she called me a week later and said, "Hey, because of that home inspection, I showed it and it was sold. And it had some concerns and they were okay with that, but they, you know, it was addressed right up there. They knew about it. It wasn't a big deal, no frightful situation.
Yeah, I think again it boils down to that peace of mind that
Right.
you know somebody's looked
Exactly.
at it with eyes that have been trained and know what they're looking for. I think that's wonderful. Now, is there different types of inspections you do? I mean, like sometimes buyers, they don't want to spend all that money for a home inspection. Are there things we can do there to help them?
Yes, there is. You know, like a lot of times I'll get called for just like roof inspection or stuff like that. I do myself. It's just a non-visual. It's a visual verbal inspection, and is what it is. Is it's a full inspection. It's just no report. So it's half the work. So it's half the money. And I just go out, point things out. You can bring a camera. I still get it in the attic, crawl spaces, all that. But this is, you know, I just let you know this is what's going on. You have your peace of mind. You know, people do this even after their time's run out of their 10-day or their 7-day, after their offer was accepted. And then that way, you know, it's a good little list for you to repair, a little honey-do list, as they call it. So, you know, and another thing I just was going to say is, you know, like I said, I was in construction for many years, and you know, I thought I knew something until I went to school for this. You know, and I was sitting in class going, "Holy, I didn't think that's what would cause that," and stuff like that. So it was really a big eye opener to go to school for this. So.
Well, that's great, because I mean, the normal buyer and seller, we don't always know what to look for or what that's going to be a problem. And I love that thought that you had, that a lot of the home inspection is educating the buyer to, okay, this is what you will need to take care of later on, what to watch for, if it's normal maintenance every year. So it's not necessarily putting all of the problem on the seller. It's letting the buyer know these are things you'll want to do when you get into the home. This is yearly maintenance. These are things that are normal, not normal, that kind of thing. So I think that's a really good thing. We had talked about some of the things that you have been finding in the homes. Is there anything that you would want our public to know that they should look for, even in their own home, before they list or correct?
You know, one of our worst things is water. Any type of water moisture issue is always what gets you in trouble. You know, make sure you got rain gutters. Get the water away from your foundation. The grading around your home is always a big issue, and ventilation. So, you know, that's one of the big things I would probably recommend.
Okay.
Water and moisture.
Water and moisture, that's good to know. Okay, in our next segment, we're going to see a few pictures and have Steve kind of describe to us what's going on. These are things that he has found in homes that will help us as the public to know what to look for and watch for, that kind of thing. I don't know if you want to get into pricing so much, but you probably have many different prices depending on the size. Yes,
I go by the size, the square footage of a home. So, you know, you can usually figure our average home inspection can start you at about 2.5 and go on up. So 250 to 300, depending on the size of the square footage. It's going to get a little more as you get into bigger homes, but that's probably a basic ballpark price. And if you get a little bit less, well, you know, then you're happy, and you know, usually you'll get what you pay for.
Okay.
So, you know, my prices usually stay the same according to the economy. You know, I'm just happy where I'm at. I may not be the lowest, I may not be the highest, but I'm comfortable with where I'm at.
Yeah.
So.
One question I had for you is, how long does it take normally to do a home inspection?
Usually 2 to 4 hours.
2 to 4 hours.
That's what I take. I don't rush it. You know, I schedule my stuff out so that I'm not rushed. You know, because sometimes you might find a whole bunch of things that you need to go over and to take a look at or go back, and so. Yeah. So that's a pretty basic time frame. You know, another thing I'd like to really stress upon is that if your home inspector points out for you to get someone in and take a look at something, get a second opinion on it, you know, I stress that you should really do that because there's a reason he's asking you to do that. Yeah. You know, if you don't do it, that's where you're going to probably run into problems. Yeah. So, like I said, we can't tell the future. So. Yeah. Okay, we're going to wrap it up for this segment, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.